So we've just entered into the white wind wave spell. So this is a 13-day period that is dedicated to evolving our capacity to connect into deeper, authentic communication. Not just deeper, authentic communication with other people, but deeper, authentic communication with ourselves, with our higher self, with this aspect that transcends the human drama and the chaos that we get stuck in our minds and, this survival brain. The white wind wave spell is a 13-day process that's really about calling for us to slow down our minds, to reconnect to our breath, to just take a breath with me right now. Just feel it come right into your belly. And then just let it out. And you feel how your body just automatically starts shifting gears. When we give our body oxygen, when we breathe, we connect with the world around us, with these beautiful trees that are putting it out for us. And we get to breathe a little bit of our surroundings, our environment. It connects us with the spirit of the earth, with the spirit of the plants around us, the spirit of the people around us. The Maori of New Zealand, they have this beautiful thing where they put their foreheads together and they share breath through the nose. And it's one of the most intimate things that you can do, is to share breath with somebody. And this is a really important thing to contemplate, How are you breathing in your days? Are you breathing? Are you even aware that you're breathing? So during this time, it's a great idea to try and just focus on very simple things, such as, have I been breathing properly today? And see if you can maybe even set an alarm a few times a day just to catch yourself and to stop and to just take a breath before moving forwards. And when you're out and about, you might find people with challenging perspectives that you're having to communicate with. You might find yourself lost, not knowing where you are in the world right now and who even am I? It's challenging to even communicate with ourselves sometimes. When was the last time you sat and had a chat with yourself? Just sat back with a cuppa and looked out over whatever your surroundings are and just spent some time with yourself. And I say this because I feel like we spend so much time in our world, trying to fit into what other people want us to be, to fit into, how can I express myself without hurting your feelings? How can I express myself without causing problems and turbulence and being kicked out of the tribe? These are things that can get so caught in the mind, creating so much noise, that we stop communicating authentically with ourselves and with others. And so during this white wind wave spell, there's actually a time where the veil is quite thin, where you can connect to spirit, you can connect to this higher self. And it doesn't have to be this woo-woo thing, right? Don't take this as some kind of belief system that you have to kind of believe there is something more, but rather see it more as an opportunity to open up your right brain, the more imaginative side of things, to allow yourself to ask for help from outside of yourself, for guidance, to connect to what's around you and see what comes through. And as the wind blows in, just as the old hunters of the old times, when you think of these tribal hunters and their sense of smell, and you look at animals, right? All the animals out there just constantly smelling the air, right? Because on the wind travels hidden messages, different frequencies, smells, sounds, right? So by slowing down, tuning into your breath, and there's the wind now, and really tuning into the wind as it blows through, and just notice the synchronicities that are around you. Allow the synchronicities, the people that turn up, the triggers that you feel, anything that happens during this time, to be a contemplative trigger, something that can inspire you to maybe think about things in a slightly different way. And the more you let go of knowing during this time, the more open you'll become to discovering. And the more we can communicate together, the more we can move forwards, letting go of this idea that we need to communicate my truth to you. I need to tell you this. You need to understand this. This is right, this is wrong. When we can move beyond that as the goal of communication, to actually start contemplating the goal of communication, to actually being, can I generate with another person an open channel? Can I connect to that person? Can I open my heart to them, and can they open their heart to me? And how can I achieve that? And seeing as we can't control the other person's heart, all we can do is control our own. And so if we can start moving forwards as a collective with, am I listening to the person that I'm triggered by? Or have I already assumed I understand what they're saying and reacting to my imagination, my projection of what they're trying to say to me? So the more that we can drop out of that reactive state and actually take time to listen to differing opinions, listen to people with different perspectives, and then have a conversation. Focus more not on convincing them, but on creating a connection with them, a human connection. Which makes me think of something that I've been contemplating the last few days. You know, before the internet, before we had all this social media and everything that was so easily accessible, we used to have friends and community around us, the people we hung out with, and they had vastly different opinions. But you didn't really have a choice, right? It wasn't like you could just jump on Facebook and go find a group of people that believed just in what you believed in. But rather, we had to just make peace with the idea that our neighbors and the people living down the street who we used to catch up and have a cuppa with, or, you know, our mates at the pub that you go and have a few beers with, you know, they might support the left, they might support the right, they might be vaccine, they might be anti-vaccine, they could be anything under the sun. And we were always just kind of working through it and accepting it. We didn't need to talk about it. You could just enjoy time together. You could play some cards together, some darts, you could get on the pool table, you could go bushwalking, you know, have a family picnic. And we don't need to talk about those things all the time. You know, we can have those conversations if they're needed. We can have our differences of opinions, but we kind of weren't able to just run away from them. We weren't able to just move. Whereas now, with social media the way it is, it's so easy to just not take on that challenge, right? To just push away people who don't accept your opinion or that you don't accept theirs, and kind of just create little cults, really. Little groups where we gather together, where we all just kind of reaffirm each other's beliefs, and it makes us feel safe. It makes us feel like we're right, that we're on the right track, that we're good people, that we're worthy. And it creates all these sensations, but they're temporal. They're not real. We're creating these echo chambers. And this white wind wave spell is asking for us to break through these echo chambers, to let go of the idea that communication is about convincing people of something. But rather, communication is about exploring human connection and generating the frequency of love and care and compassion in the world. And if our communication is not moving forward towards some kind of creative growth, then it's destructive and divisive. And I challenge everyone out there who's been in feisty conversations, that's been trying to, you know, really convince everyone and change people's opinion. Is it working? And if your goal truly is to get people to align with what you feel is the truth, that you feel is going to be the solution to this world, if your goal is to get them to align to that, and the way that you are going about it is just creating division and pushing them away, then perhaps it might be worth changing the way that we approach it. Maybe it's worth listening to why it's not working, and then recalibrating to our breath, recalibrating the way we communicate, and maybe stop trying to change people's opinions, but rather just start trying to connect to other people. And as we begin to create that web of connection and authentic communication, which I'm seeing happen here on BitClout so much, then we can begin to evolve ourselves out of these, fight and flight, fear-driven places towards a world where we can actually disagree, put our different thoughts in together and work out what's actually going to be the best solution for us all right now, being real about where we are going forwards. So remember to breathe deep and breathe regular. Get out in the bush if you're lucky enough to have this around you. And if you're not, then just breathe anyway. It doesn't matter where you are in the world. Just stay connected to that breath. And I'll be posting daily little reports to support the process. And every 13 days we'll be doing a new Wavespell report here on the Mayan Dream Spell on BitClout. So thanks for following. Hope you enjoyed it, and let me know what you think in the comments below, and anything you'd like to contribute towards the conversation as well.